What if the reason the law of assumption isn't working for you has nothing to do with your affirmations, nothing to do with your visualization, and nothing to do with whether you're manifesting correctly? What if the biggest reason most people fail with the law of assumption is something they don't even realize they're doing every single day? If you've searched for law of assumption, Neville Goddard, how to manifest with the law of assumption, or why manifestation isn't working, stay with me, because today we're going to uncover why so many people struggle with the law of assumption, and more importantly, what actually makes the law of assumption work. And if you enjoy videos about the law of attraction, the law of assumption, manifestation, abundance, mindset, and creating your ideal life, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. One of the biggest misunderstandings about the law of assumption is that people believe it's about repeating affirmations until the universe finally listens. So they repeat, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am successful, I am confident. They repeat those affirmations for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, and then they become frustrated because nothing seems to change. They start wondering if the law of assumption is real. They question whether manifestation actually works, or they assume everyone else is somehow better at manifesting than they are. But that's not how the law of assumption works. The law of assumption isn't about saying new words. It's about accepting a new identity. That's a completely different thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to what you occasionally repeat. It responds to what you consistently believe is true. Think about it. If someone compliments you, but deep down you believe you're not good enough, you'll probably dismiss the compliment. If an opportunity appears, but you secretly believe success isn't meant for you, you'll hesitate. You'll overthink. You'll find reasons not to act, not because you're lazy, not because manifestation failed, but because your subconscious is protecting the identity you've practiced for years. That's why assumptions create reality, not because you're pretending, but because your assumptions influence your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, your habits, and ultimately, your results. Here's another reason most people fail with the law of assumption. They keep checking for evidence. After one affirmation, they look at their bank account. After visualizing, they check if their specific person has texted. After a week, they wonder why nothing has happened. They're constantly asking, is it working yet? But every time you ask that question, you're assuming it hasn't happened. You're reinforcing the belief that you don't already have what you desire. The law of assumption asks something very different. It asks you to become emotionally familiar with the version of yourself who already has it, not for 5 minutes, not only during meditation, but throughout your day. How would you think if you already felt secure? How would you speak if you already believed you were successful? How would you carry yourself if you already knew you were worthy of love? How would you make decisions if abundance felt completely normal? Those daily choices are far more powerful than repeating 100 affirmations while secretly doubting every word. Another mistake people make is trying to force belief overnight. Real assumptions aren't built through pressure. They're built through repetition. Every day you choose a new thought. Every day you interrupt an old story. Every day you respond a little differently. Little by little, your subconscious begins accepting this new identity as normal. And once your identity changes, your decisions begin changing. Your confidence grows. You notice opportunities you ignored before. You become more resilient. You stop reacting from fear. That's when your external reality begins changing too. Many people call that manifestation. Others call it coincidence. But from the perspective of the law of assumption, it's simply your outer world reflecting your inner assumptions. So instead of asking yourself, why isn't my manifestation happening? Ask a much more powerful question. What assumptions am I practicing every single day? Because whether you realize it or not, you're always assuming something. You're either assuming life supports you, or that life is difficult. You're assuming you're worthy, or that you have to prove yourself. You're assuming abundance is available, or that it's always just out of reach. Those assumptions quietly shape your reality every single day. The beautiful thing is, you can begin changing them today. One decision, one belief, one new assumption at a time. Because lasting manifestation isn't about convincing the universe. It's about becoming the version of yourself for whom your desired life feels completely natural. If you'd like to explore these principles more deeply and discover practical ways to apply the law of assumption, the law of attraction, and manifestation in your own life, you'll find my books at Attractitude-US.com, Attractitude-US.com. The link is in the description. And if you found value in this video, subscribe to the channel because every week we explore manifestation, the law of assumption, abundance, mindset, and practical tools to help you consciously create the life you truly want. Happy manifesting!